must be AC, so it is an inverter. Now, based on the microgrid, if it is a AC microgrid, then there has to be a synchronization issue. If it is a DC microgrid, then in the inverter DC bus, we can always put the DC microgrid. Now, suppose the DC microgrid contains certain sources, or the microgrid contains certain sources, and it is connected to the grid, and the power fails. Because of this power failure, and because I do not know what is the reason of this power failure, whether it is an intentional disconnection or an non-intentional disconnection, based on that, I have to take the call. If it is a intentional disconnection of the power and some human beings are working at 400 volt level, and you push the power through rooftop solar photovoltaic, then you will end up in fatality. The person who is working may got huge electric shock. Now, to avoid this, I must know that the grid has failed. Now a question comes. This grid failure, to know, if I simply put a sensor, a voltage sensor, then will it work? The question is, because grid has failed, then under that circumstance, the voltage will be 0 and my detection is done. So why do you need islanding detection research at all? I want an answer from the PhD scholar. Anybody?
Parsuram, can you have any idea what sir is asking?
You can switch on the video.
No, sir. It will be creating a noise.
Acha.
Better. Who is interested, he can unmute.
No.
He or
I'm
she.
saying video.
Oh, video.
Yeah. It is otherwise looking like a dumb one and feeling boring.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Some other people can also, those who are asking, at least
Yeah.
they can switch on the video.
Yes. Parsuram,
Sir.
you can unmute.
Okay, sir, but yeah, power is not there. Video also not possible, sir.
Oh, power is not there. But I am able to see you. That's good. Even if power is not there, your power is there. So which I am able to see you.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Give me the answer.
Okay, sir, once grid failure occurs, grid side maybe it is disconnected from the distribution network,
Yes.
and it is connected for backside. It is connected, but it is connected for the microgrid. That means
No,
people will think it is.
My
People will
question
think,
is,
sir,
if you put a voltage sensor,
sir,
and you will say that the grid failure has occurred, hence the voltage sensor output will be 0.
By director itself. We can.
Is it correct?
sir,
If suppose I will say that I will put a voltage sensor,
yes, sir,
and when the grid failure occur, the voltage will be 0,
yes, sir,
and I will declare that I have detected the fault, or I have detected the grid failure. Is my statement correct? Can I detect the grid failure like this?
so voltage cannot be 0, sir, because it is connected for the microgrid. microgrid is not disconnected. That means voltage cannot be zero. Grid is, even the grid is disconnected, but supply from the renewable source is there.
See, grid is disconnected.
Yes, sir.
Then at the PCC point, how much voltage I will get?
If the grid is disconnected, that voltage may depends on the load at the PCC point, and it will be disturbed because voltage is
Now,
not maintained.
now you have a PLL.
Yes, sir.
So that PLL will be getting any information or not?
Yes, sir.
So will the PLL make the inverter switch off?
Sir,
Will the PLL makes it switch off?
that PLL will in the when it's grid connected, we will give the separate PLL reference voltage, but that PLL will connect to voltage source. When grid is disconnected, we have to maintain the voltage in the microgrid by the inverter.
No, that you are going to a control. You are telling about V app control and PQ control.
Yes, sir.
If you don't do V app control,
Yes, sir.
you remain in PQ control mode. Is there any problem?
If it is the PQ control mode, then voltage is not maintained. Previously, grid is maintaining the voltage, load voltage, but voltage is disturbed. Voltage is disturbed.
So will you get a stable operating point or not? I don't mind voltage go up and down, but will you get a stable point or not?
We will not get a stable point because.
So what will happen? It will go on increasing.
Yes, sir.
And finally blast.
Maybe, sir. Topic.
Finally everything will be blackout.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Because load may not be sufficient for the renewable source.
Okay, fine. Now, the load is more than the source, you are saying.
Yes, sir.
Then the voltage will become low.
Yes, sir. Load voltage will become low.
And it will be stabilized.
But we are not maintaining voltage, only we are injecting current.
Okay, I am telling you the answer.
Yes.
If you go into the PQ mode, and when there is a load that is connected to the PCC point, the load was drawing certain amount of P and Q. And now the inverter is suppose in unity power factor mode of operation.
Yes, sir.
Then the frequency will go on changing by the PLL in a such a way that finally it will reach a frequency which will make the reactive power demand to be zero. And that will be the operating point of the inverter. Now, to do this, the grid connected to off-grid mode of operation, if I don't do anything, then the stabilization point will be at which voltage and current is unknown. Because it is unknown, the system may collapse. Hence, we need the voltage and frequency control. And I have to maintain the voltage and frequency at a desired value. Now, when we try to maintain the V and F at a desired value, then I have to move from the PQ mode of control to VF mode of control. Now, if this VF mode of control is done, then I have to go for a controller shift. Now, if you see in the market, you are getting hybrid inverter. Have you seen any hybrid inverter? Anybody who just respond to my question? Anybody who has seen a hybrid inverter? I will ask some question on that. No one? Gone. No one has seen a hybrid inverter physically.
Kavella can say. Kavella?
Yes, sir.
What sir is asking? Any idea you have?
No, physically in practical connected mode, I have not seen, sir.
Okay. Okay. Then
Any
there
other
is no
participant? Any other
anybody from
participant?
inverter or anything industry. Okay. So then
Yeah,
probably
in the solar power plant and what we have visited once, there we have seen the inverter model and everything, sir. But the hybrid inverter, I have not seen exactly.
okay. No, because you have not seen, then this question will be very difficult, and there is no point in probably discussing about isolation and those things, because practically in the real scenario they don't do what you are telling to be grid connected mode to off grid mode with VAP and PQ controls, because that is a quite challenging task. So what usually they do, they make a separate total path which is always maintained VAP, and there is another path for the grid through which you accept the current when it is in the grid connected mode, and when the grid is off you can go, because anyway the other path is VAP, so they make it two separate paths, like you are thinking that it is in a single path. But the single path approach is a better approach, definitely. However, it has lot of control challenge. Therefore, people have gone to the approach which is basically the easier one, having two paths, even if it is little bit costlier. Now, when you go from PQ mode to VAP mode, then it is to some extent easier because you are only changing the control. However, if you want to go from VAP to PQ, then you have to go for a synchronization procedure. So when you go from the synchronization procedure, how fast and stably you can migrate from one voltage and frequency to another voltage and frequency will decide about the dynamics of the system. And that is what your probably the answer to the question what you asked. How can I go from grid connected mode to the off grid mode and vice versa? So it depends on when you are going from grid connected to the off grid, it depends on the islanding detection approach and the control setting. Because first you have to know that there is a islanding, and then you will migrate from PQ to VAP. Then when you are going from VAP to PQ, you should know that the grid has come and the synchronization procedure has to be followed. So that synchronization algorithm is deciding about the fastness of the grid to be connected approach. I think I'm probably clear to some extent.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any other question?
There was another question, sir, related to transient stability in microgrid. How we can increase the transient stability in microgrid?
Okay, so to know the transient stability, we must understand the dynamic stability and stability in large. So when we talk about the stability, what is a stability? If I ask this question, what is stable and what is unstable? Can anybody say? A variable is stable or unstable. How to define?
Sir, after any kind of disturbance, if system regains its original position, then it is stable.
And if it does not regain its original position, but it goes to some other position?
Sir, if it is continuously changing position, then it will be unstable.
No, suppose a disturbance occurred and a line is out. As a result, the current becomes 4 ampere to 5 ampere because the network condition changed. Will you say the systems to be stable or unstable?
Sir, if it is in limit, then it will be stable.
What is limit? I have not come to the limit at all. Stability does not depend on limit, right?
We can
Suppose
say
when you are telling limit, probably you are telling the capacity of the line, right?
yes, sir.
So capacity of the line is a constraint on the system. But that is not related to the stability.
Sir, sir, for a bounded input, if we are getting bounded output, then I will call my system is a stable system.
Very good. So for a bounded input, if any variable become unbounded, that means it goes on increasing or goes on decreasing with respect to time, then my system is unstable. Now, this stability is divided into two parts. One, dynamic stability, and other, transient stability. So when there is a small disturbance in the system, then it will invoke to dynamic stability, and that can be analyzed with eigenvalues. On the other hand, if we go for a large disturbance, then I will call it to be transient stability. Now, the question is, how do I get this boundary that this is a small signal stability and this is a transient stability? How do you get that boundary? What is that small disturbance? Small, large is a vague word, right? As a result, there is a definition for which the Taylor series expansion works. That means if we can linearize the nonlinear differential equation and that linearization is valid, then I will say I am doing dynamic stability analysis. That means if you have a differential equation, d omega by dt is equal to pi f by h pm minus pe, and this equation is linearized into a form x dot is equal to ax, where a is a constant matrix, and then I am solving the equation and I am getting a response, and I will solve the nonlinear equation and I will get a response. If both the response are same, then I will say the linearization approach is working fine. And this approach will work fine more or less up to around 5 to 10% change. That means if my state variables are changing by a magnitude of around 5 to 10%, then my equation will be valid. The linearization will be valid. But beyond that, my linearization will not work. So anything beyond that will give rise to the phenomenon called transient stability. So transient stability in microgrid need to be properly evaluated by means of large signal disturbances. That means you can make a fault, you can make a generator outage, you can make one page disturbed, means one page damaged, then you can make the cable fault. These will give rise to transient stability analysis. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Any question?
There are some other small questions regarding MPPT, sir, and it has been, I think, answered already on that day itself.
Okay.
So there are no other questions.
One more question is here, sir. That mainly still research is going on with the MPPT control algorithm with the advanced control scheme. What is its importance, sir, particularly whether the still research is required in this MPPT?
No. It is not required. It is only an academic exercise. I can just say that if you want to get a lotus, you need to make the water muddy, right?
Sir.
Will lotus come in very clean water?
No, sir. Not at all.
So lotus, to get that beautiful flower, I should make the water dirty. So if I do many research in MPPT, maybe if I go for 10,000 publication, out of that only one publication will be used by the industry maybe.
Sir.
So same philosophy here also. So that is actually called academic exercise. So all academic exercise may not see the light of the industry. But yes, still some academic exercise is always required.
Sir.
According to me, therefore, this MPPT per se, MPPT research and algorithm is probably not of very big importance now, because from the energy perspective, I'm not going to get any big difference. But yes, if we can link it to stability, then probably it may give a new direction of research. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other?
Sir, is it required that all the time the PV panel should be operated under MPPT mode? Or
No.
there are few cases where the MPPT is not required in a particular microgrid?
In many installations, now we are going for up MPPT operation, OFM. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So even in the Rajasthan area, now because of the large installation of solar photovoltaics, there are instances where they are instructed to reduce the photovoltaic power. And there we do not care about MPPT, but we care about the operation of the system, and we care about the stability of the grid. Okay.
Yeah. That means there is a excess power generation because of that reason.
Yes. There is excess power generation, therefore it is to be curtailed back.
Yes. Any
Okay.
other question from the participants?
One
Regarding
question
the-
was coming in the chat box. Somebody was asking something.
Yes.
Yes, sir, I can read it, sir. So the question is like this: if distributed generated sources connected to the power distribution system, microgrids are necessary or not?
See, these distributed generators, what you are saying, are in fact nothing but a sort of micro.
Hmm.
Okay. So when you talk about distributed generation, what is distributed generator? It is basically connected at different location on the distributor system. Now, if you think that it is a single generator, generally we say that DG are connected to the grid. But when we talk about a microgrid and it is connected to the grid, we talk about a microgrid connected to the grid. So now a distributed generator as a whole can be looked as a microgrid, but the difference is a microgrid may not be or the owner of a microgrid may not be a single entity. The owner of a distributed generator will be generally one person. Suppose I have purchased one solar photovoltaic system, or you have purchased one wind power station. Somebody else has purchased one fuel cell. So these all are independent and independent ownership based devices. But in case of a microgrid, there will be many sources connected to each other, and those sources could be having ownership of different entity, and those different entities sources connected together, and it is further connected to the distribution system. As a result, its control challenge will be very much, and the philosophy of distributed generation and the philosophy of microgrid may be quite different. For example, I can say a distributed generators may like to inject whatever power it is producing to the grid. But on the contrary, a microgrid may not like to inject whole of the power to the grid, but may like to inject a controllable power to the grid. and the differential amount will be kept in the storage of the overall generating system. So the philosophy of interconnected portion between the microgrid and grid will decide the economics of the microgrid and grid interaction. And that is why this small boundary will affect to the terminology of distributed generation vis-a-vis a grid connected microgrid. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So, any other question?
No, sir, there are no other questions.
No other questions. No, previously they were asking few questions, I think.
Yeah, previously they were asking about MPPT only, sir. And
Ah.
which MPPT can be used actually in practical applications or widely used? They are asking regarding that.
Sir, is it
Huh.
possible to explain a little bit about the MPPT? Means the physical concept, how the things happening, how the power is tracked, maximum power.
Okay, you want the algorithm?
Not algorithm, means concept wise.
That dp by dv concept you are saying?
Yeah, something, yeah, basic concept, sir. How the MPPT.
Okay. Okay, let me open up a slide.
And more idea required, sir, over the active islanding and passive islanding, and what is hybrid islanding technique.
Okay.
Which is the most important that we should know it.
You are able to see my slide now?
Yeah, now, sir, we are able to see maximum power point tracking.
Okay. So see, for a solar photovoltaic, this will be the PV characteristics. Now in this PV characteristics, yes? So in these PV characteristics, this is the maximum point. And when we start any inverter to where the photovoltaic is connected, we generally start either from this open circuit point or from the short circuited point. So generally, we do not reach the absolute short circuit, but we can start somewhere at this point. And then we go on increasing the voltage till the power goes decreasing. So when the power starts decreasing, then we start reducing the voltage and we toggle between these 2 points, and a 3-point oscillations will come into picture about this peak point. And that is called as MPPT tracking. Based on this philosophy, there are many other approaches also taken up where people have thought about active resistance approach, active or the intelligent approach like fuzzy logic and those, and for partial shading condition, people have thought about this particle swarm optimization or the population based optimization technique to reach to the peak point in the partial shaded operating condition. So that type of operation is done for achieving the maximum power point in a photovoltaic system. Now coming to the question, what you have mentioned. So this MPPT tracking nowadays even available with the help of your IC chips, where you can directly put the MPPT tracker and it can give you the MPPT operation. Or we can go for a DSP coding and we can also get the MPPT operation. Now coming to the next question, what you have made, that is the active islanding, passive islanding, and hybrid islanding. As I have told you, what is the islanding detection requirement is already discussed. Now, imagine that there is a load connected to the system, and that load is suppose drawing P real power and Q reactive power, and the inverter is supplying 0 reactive power, that is, it is in the unity power factor mode of operation. Under that circumstance, the real power is partially fed by the solar photovoltaic and partially done by the grid. But on the other hand, the reactive power is totally handled by the grid. And under this circumstance, that means when my grid is supporting the reactive power and my inverter is not producing any reactive power, there is suppose a grid failure. Because the load has not changed at that instant, because of the load failure, what will happen? The load itself, because of the grid failure, the load itself will try to adjust to the value such that the Q will be 0 again. So the frequency will go on changing or either increase or decrease such that a resonating point is reached by means of the inductance and capacitance in the circuit, and the system becomes stable at a different frequency. So what they usually therefore do today when there is a grid failure, they will simply monitor the frequency and they go for a operation that if the frequency is lower than certain value, I will declare that the grid is not available. Now, if suppose imagine that the solar photovoltaic is produce P amount of power and the load is exactly equal to the P amount of power. Under that circumstance, an islanding occurs. That means the grid was neither supplying nor consuming any power from the system. Under this circumstance, when we get it, the detection will be very difficult by means of the change in frequency what I was mentioning, because the grid was neither supplying any power nor it was giving any power. So the PLL was at such a point given that the frequency and the voltage basically remain unchanged or remain constant at that value of magnitude. Hence, we cannot detect it with this passive islanding detection approach. Now, to detect this type of operation, we need the active islanding mode of operation, where we try to inject certain amount of current to the point of common coupling, and we try to extract the information so that we can get the detection possible. Now you combine both the thing, it will give you the hybrid detection approach. Am I correct? Over.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Then, sir, it is advisable to go for a hybrid islanding detection technique always.
Yeah. Not always. You have to make a compromise.
Okay,
Okay. Whether it is required. See, even today,
sir.
nobody is going to the active islanding mode of operation,
Sir.
because I have already told you the inverters, those which are available in the market, they are using hybrid mode of inverter, and the hybrid mode of inverter is totally having two paths, one for the grid and one for the load. Hence, there is no need to have any detection of islanding at all, because my load is not interacting with the grid at any cost.
Oh, that is a hybrid inverter.
Yes. So that is the actually beauty.
Any other question from the participants?
So if there is no questions, gather, let us close it here.
No, the 1-2 questions will be there, sir. Definitely,
Huh.
we will just take
Huh.
for 1-2 minutes.
Sure. Because I have to go to another meeting again.
Okay, sir. Yes, Kavela, anyone else asking any question? And sir, regarding this, nowadays we are moving towards DC microgrid or sir AC microgrid in industry applications.
DC microgrid at little bit higher voltage, people are little bit still skeptical. They are afraid of the DC at higher voltage, but it is going in steadily, just like the electric vehicles, they have already come with high voltage DC.
Okay.
Okay. But
Yes.
electric vehicle is still a sophisticated thing, right? So therefore, the person who is purchasing an electric vehicle can spend money, and it is okay. It is in a very what I should say, controlled environment. But in microgrid, it will be generally in the rural scenario, and maybe in mines and those area. So still high voltage thing, they are a bit afraid. However, yes, they are proposing for high voltage DC microgrid, and it will probably see the light.
Sir.
So I am not thinking that immediately it will go away, the AC microgrid. It will take 50, 60 or 100 years to change the AC microgrid concept.
Sir. That means it is at the only research laboratory.
Which one?
This DC microgrid.
No. There are certain places where it has been implemented also.
Okay.
Like Finland, they have one implemented probably.
Okay. Means for a commercial purpose.
Yes.
Okay, because participants, I think, getting means tired,
Tired of. Yeah,
tired
yeah,
of.
yeah.
That may be the reason. And Sir is also a little bit tired, what I understand, throughout day. And anyhow, this is a good thing, and participants, they know very well. And if they have anything, they can interact through email also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure, sure, sure.
Then Kavalya will be concluding. Thank you, sir.